All right, story time for the channel. I've had a lot of people ask me what it even means when I say it. This is the legend of the chicken streaker, Mike Chapin. Didn't know his name until probably 2 years ago when I looked on a Facebook group. But yeah, the chicken streaker, something I say often, and the story all revolves around one night that's stuck in my head. Small town in the middle of Nebraska, Donovan, where we had a racetrack that we went to pretty much every Saturday night. It has long been shut down, but Mid-Continent, or as it is was known before it shut down, Mid-Nebraska, little dirt track that we'd go to where my dad raced late models, and it's a great track. It was really quick and lots of fun in my childhood. But yeah, this was the era of the wedge nose late models, all four wheels on the ground, no weird stuff. Johnny Sadoff would show up. He had one of his worst wrecks ever there. I remember that night. Kyle Burke in the 14, multiple NASCAR champion. Mike Wyorta, greatest paint schemes ever. My childhood. I remember first race of the season. Every year, I'd look forward to seeing what paint schemes he would come up with for his car, because this was before wraps. And so, seeing his schemes compared to everyone else, they were just amazing. Here is one of his for a spiderweb car. I've wanted to replicate these on iRacing, but just sidebar onto this whole story. Robbie Leonard. We have like Kurt Franklin and Stefanik 76. And then one half of this story is the black and yellow number 7, my dad. The other half of this story is the red number 4, the chicken streaker. So, the chicken streaker, one of those guys that kind of always at the back of the pack, kind of a little all over. Now, my dad wasn't the greatest late model driver in the world. He tried 3 all-star races and never made the A main, as you can see here. But going against big names, the Kaziskis, Bob Hill, Ray Gus Jr., lots of big names from the central United States that ran these. But, you know, there was people that we raced against every week that would make these A mains as well. So, my dad, not always winning late model races, especially in the early years. Tony Gregg would make features, Al Humphrey would make features, and those were the people that we were racing weekly anyways. So, the story is he was finally leading a race, kind of walking away, hit the setup, and comes up to lap the chicken streaker. Out of turn 4, chicken streaker starts to spin. Usually gets 1 or 2 spins in a night. That's what I remember as a child. And he corrects it, and it's the way that my dad guessed to go opposite of him spinning, and they both end up smack into the wall out of turn 4. My dad's race is over. Car's destroyed. My mom's screaming at the fence already. It's like been 2 seconds, and somehow she's went down 20 flights of stairs. And yeah, the chicken streaker claimed that race from us. Now, obviously, lots of money and everything, and compared to what we go through on iRacing, you know, we lose a few ratings, whatever. But it's a memory that stuck in my head as a child for the longest time. And yeah, so When I started this channel, I was calling people lappers, and people were getting angry about the way that I was talking about lap traffic. And so I had to come up with something where I could express how I felt, not derogatory or anything like that. So, my childhood memories, Chicken Streaker. It's a great word, name, it's fun to say, it sticks out, and it kind of fits that, you know, they're probably good guys. They just are a little uncontrollable on track. They're just having fun, trying to drive, and yeah, everyone's got them at every track, but not all of them have such a great nickname. So apparently the nickname was due to him being a really skinny guy, and yeah, so it's a word that I use to describe people very off pace that just happen to make the wrong moves more often than not. And it's an easier way to express that. It's nothing against Mike, it's nothing derogatory. I'm sure he would probably laugh that a whole new generation is hearing the name Chicken Streaker. And, you know, he's long past, and it's just one of those deals where it's something that I can, you know, relate to what my dad went through and what I saw as a child when we went to the racetrack. So that is the story behind the Chicken Streaker and why I say it. The red number 4, the guy you're not quite sure which direction he's going to go when you come up to lap him. So that pretty much sums it up. You know, my dad, car got destroyed, and obviously, you know, the Chicken Streaker was known in our household for that night. Had that not happened, or had Mike not had this nickname, then, you know, probably wouldn't have even remembered the racing from back then, red number 4, but it sticks out so well and it fits perfectly with what I'm trying to explain. So it's a cool way to go about saying everything that's happening on track when you're approaching lappers. So yeah, that is the story of the Chicken Streaker, and should answer questions on why I say it, where it came from. Again, it's not supposed to be offensive. It's just a way to describe someone you're not quite sure where they're headed. So that is the legend of the Chicken Streaker.